What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday morning to you all. Facebook family, social media socialites. You may be asking, why is he talking from the garage in his car? It's because I'm looking for my buds. I can't seem to remember where I placed them last night when I got off. But nevertheless, so I made a post last night saying, several of them. I said these teenagers are lost and need guidance. I said, fathers, be there for your daughters. And I also said, fathers, even if you don't live with the child's mother, pop up to their house and go check your daughter's wardrobe. And a lot of people got upset with that, which I'm not sure as to why. I'm actually telling you, you know, be involved with your daughters. You may not live with them, does not mean you're not involved. You could see your babies every weekend. You can see your babies before you go to work. You can see your babies after you get off of work. You can pop up at all the school events, but if you're not living there, you may not know what's going on inside that closet. And I'm saying this. I've been working with, at these places, they need personal security. They don't want to deal with, the local law enforcement agencies. And as of late, I've been watching like how the teens conduct themselves. A few weeks ago, I had an incident that I didn't know went viral with a teenager. Nothing really major happened. Just my face kept popping up on camera. Uh, but I've been working at this place, and as of late, they've been doing teen skate night. Okay. Last week did teen skate night. A little knucklehead boy was doing things he ain't got no business doing. Tried to steal some drinks, sodas, and slushes and whatnot. And he was fussing and cussing, saying, I don't F with cops like that. And, F you talking about? I'm like, well, unfortunately for you, I'm not a cop. So you about to deal with me, do what you're supposed to do, leave the premises, wait for your Uber, call your parents, etc. Last night kind of took the cake. And I'm talking to you all this time about these teenage girls in particular. I know sometimes they say if they don't want to be saved, don't save them. But somebody may need to save these young girls from themselves. Somebody may need to save these young girls from themselves. Somebody may need to save these young girls from themselves. And this should really hit home if you have daughters, if you have nieces, if you have young teenage sisters. Man, if somebody, if you're a friend of the family and they call you uncle, auntie, or something like that, if you don't have kids, but you live in a neighborhood and you see the young little boys, teenage girls, get on that school bus and, they involved in, after school activities in the community, in the village, you should want to look out for them and make sure they're doing right. Now, the lights just went out on me. What I would also suggest is that we start establishing some sort of mentorship. I would also suggest we start establishing some sort of mentorship, because what I saw last night was just out of pocket. Last night at the skate night, man, they said, hey, can you go check on the skating rink real quick on the side while we go and make sure we got the keys to unlock the concession stand? I said, no problem. I'll go back to the other side of the bar, that way I can make sure I'm watching nobody's doing anything crazy there. So I'm sitting in this skating rink side for about maybe 45 minutes. And what I saw was just almost atrocious. How do some of you all allow your daughters to walk out the house like that? Okay. How do you all allow some of your daughters to walk out the house like that? All of them very nice looking, pretty little girls, seem like they, the apple of their father or mother's eye. Okay. One young lady was walking around in the short leather pleather shorts. Now, somebody said, well, that should be up to the parents and maybe the facility should have a dress code. Well, theoretically, it probably does. But I'm just standing back there watching like, what the heck is going on here? And like, really? And, I saw another young lady, I guess it was just sleeveless or whatnot, shirts. These girls, well, I don't know the name of the shit. She's wearing jeans. I think her belly was showing just a bit. Because she had passed by and talked to me. She said, excuse me, sir, blah, blah, blah. Are they selling, food yet? And I'm like, baby girl, I don't know. I don't work for the company. They just hired me to make sure nobody here gets hurt. Said, okay. And this is not the young lady in the pleather shorts. I didn't have a conversation with her. So they skating, they doing their thing and so forth, man. And then here come these little dudes. One of them wearing this big ass red bubble jacket. Another dude, had a camera and whatnot. So I see they recording things. People record it all the time. They probably got a social media following, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Hell, for all I know, they could be very good at making film. Okay. So they're recording and so forth and whatnot. And then a certain song comes on. These little girls start twerking. One of them, I thought was a bit older than, a teenager. She's in there. She's twerking as well. And here's the investigator part of me thinking she was wearing one of them little green Pro Bass fishing hats with like a little small denim jacket and some tan pants. Okay? She starts twerking and whatnot. And old boy gets the camera and starts panning down like to watch her ass, twerk. And everybody else is slapping on the ass while she was doing this. So I sat there and watched this for a minute. In the back of my mind, thinking, couldn't have been my baby. No. And one of the other young teenagers that used to work there, she recognized, like, hey, Mr. Jess, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's going on? And I said, hey, that girl right there in the hat. I said, she go to school with y'all or something? She was like, no. She's like, I think she graduated last year, but she still show up. So she's probably 18 years old, but already graduated high school, but attending an event that's basically catered toward teens, middle schools and high schoolers. Okay, whatever. And then I watch her, do it again, get in the wall and start twerking, and these boys, recording whatever else. And then, like, I asked her once, I said, do you know they was recording you and slap you in the ass? And she was like, huh? I guess. And then another song came on and she started twerking again and whatnot. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, poor young lady. It just couldn't be mine. And I'm going to come out on record and say, I wish the hell I would find out that my daughters would have stepped outside the house wearing short pleather leather shorts and twerking and having people smack them on the ass. When I find out, I'm going to smack the shit out of my daughters and then find their mother and smack the shit out of her too. You can take that on record and say that, but luckily my daughters live with me. And then we get to the parking lot. I'm telling everybody to go home. Remember the dudes I was telling you about? Okay. So they in this Impala. Little Impala, they got one female with them. I guess she was helping record or whatnot. She must be like the big sister, the sister of the crew or whatnot. They just recording from their car, driving back and forth around the parking lot, letting the camera do its thing or whatnot so they can edit it later possibly. So they pull up to a group of girls and tell, one of them come here and start talking. And I heard him say, she was like, he says, what? She's like, what you want? And his mouth said, bitch, I'm trying to get your number, stupid bitch. And I'm sitting there watching. And I'm not sure if she gave him a fake number, but she did give him some sort of number, a social media following. She walks away from the car, and the dude from the driver's side window yells at her, I got next, bitch. And she just laughed. This is so embarrassing. Then goes back to her people, which one of her people was the girl in the little pleather leather short shorts, whatever the fuck. Them little bastards that was driving around in the car, I had to tell them like 4 or 5 times to leave. Like, they were starting to really piss me off. Now, remember the young lady one of the young ladies I told you, real pretty. She had a little sleeveless shirt on with her little belly out with jeans. I've seen girls wear that all the time. Okay, I take umbrage when little young girls have their belly out. Maybe I'm just old or just don't get it. Maybe it's the father or man in me. I don't know. But here's me thinking like the investigator again. Pretty little light-skinned girl. In case something were to happen, people can ask me who was there, I can describe. Light-skinned, green eyes. Her hair texture was like my middle daughter, that curly afro type hair, like that little girl from the movie Home. Like that. Okay, so I guess she was riding with some friends. It was one guy and another girl. And she's sitting there, again, twerking, on the inside of the door where the car is, the driver's side door of the car. Again, letting people film them and slap them on the ass. And I keep saying, yo, you guys got to leave the premises. Go meet your parents. If your parents are waiting for you, you guys wait here by the entrance. If you're waiting for Uber, do the same damn thing. If you know where you got to go ahead. So she was like, what's wrong, bro? I was like, bro, it's time for you all to leave. And say if something happens, we're liable. All right. Then there was another group of girls who, I guess they were just going to go wait for their ride at the gas station. And they were just sitting there looking stupid by the entrance of the facility. I'm not sure, or the gate by the facility. I'm not sure as to why. It's like, it's time to leave. And she was like, we ain't doing nothing to you, bro. I said, excuse me. And they all took off running as a means to laugh. Teenagers and kids going to be kids. All I'm saying is that fathers can be very involved with your daughters. It's sad to say, but some of these daughters are living with mothers who are in competition with their daughters and want to live vicariously through their daughters and be 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 years old again. It don't work that way. At 35, I have no business trying to hang out with my son's 17-year-old friends, his other sons, his 20-year-old friends, trying to be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 again. I will never see that age again in this lifetime. I don't care what these women tell you, fellas. You got every right to know how your daughter's walking out that house. You got every right to look in that closet and say, I don't like this. That's inappropriate. And if she combats that or has something to say against that, then we know it's an issue with the mother. Be involved with your daughters, fellas. Take care of yourself. Excellence of excuses.